said is we should bail on the hike. I didn't mean us in general. I just meant the hike.
You don't want to make our relationship better?
Our relationship is fine.
What's that?
Church bells? Schmigadoon?
Welcome to our little town,
where friends are all you'll meet.
Must be something they do for tourists.
Hey, everyone.
Hey there, Pete.
Woo! Can we go now?
Already?
What?
We can't leave. It's like magic. We're in an actual musical.
Please, God, no.
Everybody!
They said we're only here till we found true love. Do you think this is true love?
What does that even mean? Who knows what Schmigadoon thinks is true love?
Which of you ladies wants to cross this bridge with me?
You want to try with other people?
What a beautiful couple you two make.
Stop it. You are stunning. Compared to you, I'm a barefoot mess.
Ah! Let's go find your shoes, shall we?
We're stuck here forever.
You're just going to give up?
We're smart. We found our way out of IKEA. We'll find a way out of here.
Ladies, can I get a cackle?
We're in a musical, okay? Nobody gets killed in a musical, except Oklahoma. And Carousel. And South Pacific. Oh, hello. West Side Story.
That's all the musicals.
Welcome to Schmodcasto, a wonderful Viagra. No, I've got no idea. I didn't
really
actually
didn't practice that.
Tell me
No.
you didn't watch this without telling me you didn't watch this. It's obviously a fantastical Farrago. How could you?
Yeah,
forget
it
this?
is. But I kept on hearing Virago, like the car. No, Tarago. That's it. Yes. Welcome to Schmodcasto, a wonderful Tarago. That's clearly what we're doing, right?
Well done for killing the musical genre before we've even reviewed it, Quinny, without being able to burst into song.
As the person in this particular chat or in this particular podcast even who's actually directed musicals, I'm gonna be laying the smackdown on you all musically. Here
Okay
and
then,
there.
Quinny. So we're all podcasting
Oh, fuck you.
together because that's the musical Quinny directed. We're all podcasting together, and technically it's Disney, so it's not a real musical.
Hey, I've also been in musicals. I've been in the least appropriate musical of all time for me.
Oh.
Hair. Give me a head with hair. Please give me some hair. Any kind of fucking hair, just not on my fucking shoulders. Give me it down with their hair. No, exactly.
Well, that was the one that you were singing when you were a child, like more hair everywhere. Wait, why is it
Yeah.
going from up there?
Yeah, I was very disappointed when like the hair fairy chose what was going to happen. Anyway,
I'm disgusted by the idea of the hair fairy.
there's a musical about it. I'm sure there is.
There is a musical about it, and that's absolutely fine. What are we doing today? And I would like to just acknowledge this with today and pour one out for Peta for her internet connection just deciding to not play with her when this is literally the podcast she asked for.
Yeah.
I really want to be in this discussion, guys, but I'm struggling.
If you leave it, we know that your heart just isn't full of love and joy and musicals. You just you've been found out for not being the musical one.
Yeah.
You haven't seen enough
So
musicals.
was it the shit singing that put you off, or was it just poor internet, Pete? That's all I need to know.
My internet is just hating me at the moment. I've shut down everything except Zoom. I can't see if there's anyone super excited about this talk in the chat. I'm assuming that everyone in the chat is super excited about this talk because why wouldn't you be?
So
why
pumped.
wouldn't you be? We've been promising to talk about musicals for a long time because we're about all kinds of fandom here at TPToA.
Yes.
And musical fandom is a big fandom, guys. Like
fucking huge.
It intersects with some of the more common fandoms that we are involved, well,
I
that
haven't
you
act-
guys are involved in. Like, this is, I think.
haven't
I mean,
actually-
how many TV shows have we watched that have had a musical episode?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
I was lucky enough to watch Spider-Man the musical.
Oh, do we say lucky or do we even dare call it a musical? It was more of a pantomime.
Did you end up seeing it, Jill?
Oh, I fucking saw Turn
Oh.
Out the Dark. It was the biggest regret I've ever had in my life.
$120 for a ticket that I could never get back, and 2
Yeah.
hours of my fucking life.
Yeah.
Has there ever
Yeah.
been a hard science fiction musical?
Return to the Forbidden Planet is
Technically, is that a musical though? I'm talking like a stage theatrical performance where it's hard sci-fi. I mean, apart from Repo the Genetic Opera.
I was just about to say
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
So
the only
no,
one I
no,
can think of.
I'm done. I'm sort of rattling. I'm thinking about the genres that don't actually have musicals, like westerns that never make a musical, like gangster stories that never
Wait,
make a
what?
musical.
Hang on, what? What about? Oh, okay,
They
you're
never-
shit stirring us. I see.
They'd never make historical drama musical. They'd never make some sort of horror story musical. Like all these things don't. The musicals just don't apply to those things. You need to find the proper. It's West Side Story. There's no violence in that.
Yeah,
No,
this is how
none at
Dion
all.
does sarcasm and irony.
It's great. Is it clear that I haven't watched any musicals?
I mean, if you want, even Top Gun could be a musical, because when you're a jet, you're a really no. Sorry.
You know what? I would pay to watch Top Gun the musical.
My
Yeah,
father
I-
would actually go and see a musical, I think.
I mean, considering
I mean-
they made a musical about Paul Keating.
Oh yeah.
Which was great, by the way.
Yeah,
Was it?
Yes.
yeah. As
You've
Peter,
not seen Keating, the musical, Quinny?
I've not. No, holy
It
shit!
is so far up your alley.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that sentence. I was like, wow, that's
Just
Peter.
think rap battle incorporating all of Keating's best real life singers.
Oh, oh, my word. Okay, now I am excited. And so don't mind me. I'm just going to go and have a bit of a.
well, I
look
mean,
for that one.
before we get into this, I just also need to do something because I discovered a musical that I didn't know existed.
Oh yes.
And I feel bad because it gives you more stuff to look at later. So everyone knows what Quinny's favorite musical year is, right? Like, so not musical, movie year. What's
I was gonna
Quinny's
say
favorite
musical.
movie year?
Oh, 1984.
And in 1984, a musical came out
Best year ever.
called Streets of Fire that is like, it's literally a musical rock opera kind of thing about hard-bitten streets of, I don't know, let's call it Brooklyn in an ambiguous time frame that exists simultaneously in the 50s and the 80s.
And is slightly cyberpunk.
Yeah, and it's slightly cyberpunk with lots of neon. Like I didn't even know it existed, and it stars a bunch of people that is interesting. But all I want to say,
Willem
is,
Dafoe.
fucking Willem Dafoe's in it. Like, yeah. Oh, I love this. Okay, this is great now, and I want to explain this.
People.
Yeah, I'm going to explain this to the chat as we're doing right now. Of all the people I thought that would drop out of this, it's definitely Peter that's fucked up all of the stream. But no, it's Quinny. Quinny has left. Quinny has immediately
thanks a lot,
dropped
Quinny.
straight out during this, and Peter is the
I mean,
solo.
can I use this opportunity to restart? Because it might help.
I mean, no. I mean, what I will do, I'll keep talking, but I am going to
No,
throw up
no.
the. I'm going to throw up the thing and keep talking under the back of it while we're waiting for people to come back. So everyone can still hear us. We're still talking about musicals. Much apologies. Well, yeah, Quinny just absolutely bit the dust on that one. I think that's hilarious.
well. We'll make him do the synopsis when he gets back.
Yeah, we'll do the synopsis when he gets back, and that's absolutely fine. But I just wanted to explain, especially to Peter and Jill. I told Quinny about this yesterday, but there is a way to look at this stuff, and that I might have already given you access to. You can watch Streets of Fire right now if you feel like.
Oh,
But go and
so it was
source
a
it.
movie musical. Was it ever
musical.
on stage?
Nope. No, that's it.
Okay.
Quinny, you back now? You feeling good? Do you want to come back to this whole situation? Because I can't hear you. You muted
Yeah,
yourself.
you want to unmute yourself too? Honey?
Yeah, if you do that, then people will be able to hear you. All right.
There we
There
go.
we
Right. Sorry about
go.
that.
Yeah, there we
Sorry.
go, guys.
I
Everyone feeling better now?
may have accidentally touched my computer and it all just went. Pew.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people disable the shutdown button, but
It's not a shutdown button. Literally, just moved the computer and the whole thing just died. Sorry about that. I know we probably haven't talked about it, but there is a thing. If you love musicals at the moment on Disney Plus, there is. If you love musicals or musical band stuff, there is the Electric Mayhem, which is well worth a look, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But sorry, where did we get to? We were still talking
we
about
were-
Streets on Fire.
No, we're ready for you to give us a synopsis.
Oh
yeah.
fuck me!
Yeah, we got down there and we were like, you know,
Here's your
out of,
punishment.
out of all the people we thought would leave in this, it would be Peter, but no, we were betrayed by Quinny. And now we're gonna like wait for you to come and get the synopsis ready, but that's completely up to you. It's fine.
I really would like to, try and find a way to do this in music, but
In musical form?
Like sing it.
yeah. Actually, one of my favorite things from what's the TV show Spicks and Specks is choose some words or a song.
Oh yeah, they get like a textbook and they have to like
Yeah,
sing it to a theme song.
give me a
a
theme.
tune. Yeah.
Throw me a theme. Come on, everybody.
Julie Andrews.
The Sound of Music.
Yeah.
No.
Do favorite things. These are my favorite things, and then like, but sing that thing.
I can't even remember how that goes.
That one.
Schmigadoon
Oh, okay.
was something
Yeah, it's
come out
easy
of
one.
my
Gotcha.
mind.
Okay.
No, it's
Yeah,
easy.
right.
Okay,
Would you
right,
like a
here we
little
go.
bit of background music for this, Quinny?
No,
Are you
don't.
sure?
Leave the background
No, it's fine. He
music,
can't
just
hear it
sing
at all. It's all right. And it's gonna be tonally
No, the people
This is gonna
listening
be
will
so
hate it.
messed up.
annoying. So get onto that.
Okay. In the first season, two New York doctors, Melissa and Josh, go on a backpacking trip in an attempt to patch up their failing relationship, only to find still arguing. They soon get lost and discover a magical town called Schmigadoon, which is perpetually trapped in a Golden Age style musical. And soon they learn that they cannot leave the town until they find true love. And there you go. That's season
the-
one.
That was
Okay.
lovely.
Yeah.
That's
You
season
nailed
one.
it. You did a good job. All right, should we pick
Yes.
another song and you can do the synopsis for season
Season
two?
two.
Yeah. No, it's going to be the same song. It's just rolling in the background. So keep going.
I can't hear it.
No, it doesn't matter. Just sing from your heart, Quinny. What's the music inside you?
I can't think of any songs.
Do Maria
Chat.
from West Side Story.
In season two, Melissa and Josh are married. They find their lives monotonous as doctors in New York. No, I can't remember the fucking tune. They search for the quaint village of Schmigadoon, but instead arrived in Schmicago, a world that pays satirical homage to sexy, dark 1960s and 70s musicals. To escape, they are told they must reach a happy ending, and that's not as easy as you might think.
Yeah, it is. If you just go and pay. Oh, wait.
Yeah. It is
Okay.
that kind of town, but it's not that kind of happy ending.
Are you not shocked by this, Quinny?
And, does it shock you?
Does it shock you?
Fuck, I laughed at that song.
Yes, I laughed at it. And this is all coming out because, and I'm going to put my hand up straight away and say, not a massive fan of musicals. Do I enjoy musicals? Yes. But what I liked most about Schmigadoon was this is a musical television show for people who aren't real sure about musicals or perhaps don't like musicals, because the two lead characters, basically in season one of them hates musicals. So it's quite a nice way of sort of low-key getting people into musicals, even
And
though
that's
it's
the thing.
ridiculous.
That's why I keep trying to make people watch it, because at its heart, it's a comedy. It's a successful comedy. And I feel like the only barrier to entry is if you're one of those people who just fucking hate musicals and like cannot handle anybody starting to sing in any storyline under any circumstance. Like if you're not one of those people, you could 100% watch the show and it won't be offensive to you. I don't think.
No, I don't.
I might be
admittedly,
overjudging that as somebody who really enjoys musicals.
It's fun. Like my partner, like as soon as they started singing, she was like, "No, fuck it, not interested. Don't want to watch."
I'm out.
Yeah,
None of this
I
rambunctious good time.
Yeah, I don't think she particularly liked the word Schmicago or Schmigadoon. As soon as it was a Schmidt anything, she was like, "Nah, not into it." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Come on, it's funny," but also, yeah, if you don't love musicals, it's probably it may be a tough sell, but it is funny. That's the thing; it's a comedy.
And if you do like musicals, you're gonna love it because there's so many references of rapid fire musical references that everyone, even the ridiculous shit.
I'm someone that enjoys musicals, and I find this entry level. So I got maybe 80% of the references, but not all of them. And I know Peter has told me that there is a list online that tells you every single deep cut.
There is a Reddit subthread.
Of course there is.
For Schmigadoon and Schmicago, and every time an episode is released, people who are way bigger musical nerds than jump on and talk about it, and you can see all of the tiny little references that they've picked up, whether it's the many references in the music or like a prop in the background that calls back to something else. So I kind of took to watching an episode, reading the Reddit thread, and then coming back and watching listening to the song references that I may not have been familiar with, and then coming back to the episode again. I understand that is a really nerdy way to watch this particular show, and you don't have to do that. But I got a lot of enjoyment out of it, as did. So first season of this was released while we were all in lockdown number 2, or what was for Sydney lockdown number 2, and what was for Melbourne just lockdown.
The great lockdown.
Come on, 2 days, 2 days, Melbourne. We just beat you by 2. You beat us by 2 days.
In lockdown number 2, we were allowed to have single people living alone were allowed to have a visitor, one person to visit. So my sister used to come over on Saturday nights, and we would have dinner and we would watch Schmigadoon together, which was really fun because my sister and I were brought up on the same musicals, and it's super fun to watch this with another bit of a musical nerd, and you can like, that bit of that song is from this song, and can you hear this and that, and there is, even though you don't have to love musicals to watch it, there is kind of that element of, I understand that reference. That is super fun if you are a bit of a nerd.
Yeah.
I can't do when I'm watching Star Wars, okay? So this is fun for me. This is I get to be in my fandom now. Where are my people?
If you start going crazy, do we do like a musical gonk of some description? Like, is it gonk, gonk, gonk?
I don't know how to gonk that correctly. What would it be? Monorail.
More cowbell.
Monorail. Monorail.
Monorail. Yes. Yeah. So interesting. So you really dug first season, Pete?
I dug first season, and the reason I dug first season is because a lot of those musicals are musicals that I either watched with my parents or my grandparents when I was a child, like on videos. My grandfather used to love that kind of music, or I did the musicals at school, or we had done songs from the musicals at school. Like, it was kind of the era of musicals that my kind of choir and drama teachers were into. So there was like a lot, even just listening, like when the theme music first plays before you even get into any of it, it's super exciting because you're like, it's like almost Oklahoma, and it's almost Carousel, and it's almost Sound of Music, but not exactly any of those things.
Yeah.
And folded together into this, one piece of music that even in the opening sequence works so well to set you up and reference exactly what you're about to experience. So it's that kind of thing where like you get excited in the first 30 seconds that like this is going to be a lot of fun. And so you kind of sets you up to enjoy it. And if I can understand that it would be an irritating watch if you really don't like that style of music at all, because the first season really, it does reference Oklahoma, Carousel,
40s,
Sound of Music, Music
Brigadoon.
Man.
Most importantly, yes, Brigadoon.
Yeah,
Brigadoon.
kind of leaning heavily on that one, but
And it's not just the music that references it; it's the set, it's the costumes.
and the
Obviously,
style
it's a
of the set.
it is a. Well, they shot it during COVID, and so that probably is also an element to the kind of set that they used. But it does look so perfectly like one of those early Technicolor movie musical sets, that it just kind of fits right in. And there are quite a few numbers in the first season that I thought were really, really terrific. Super, super well performed.
Corn pudding?
Don't say that
pudding.
Don't say that one, Quinny, or I'll play corn pudding.
Well, we could play corn pudding. Corn pudding isn't one of my favorites, but what I like, I told Quinny Dion to grab corn pudding because the opening of it really sets up the dynamic between the characters and why I think that this really works as a comedy for anyone to watch. Because at every single moment, even when a really corny musical number that you might hate is starting out, you have one character who's like, what the fuck is this? I'm not interested in this. I don't want to be here. Why is this happening? So you can just relate to that character.
I think you said the magic words, Pete, and guess what's happening right now? It's corn pudding.
First 30 seconds, we do not need to listen to corn pudding.
What's that?
What? Are you trying to tell me that you've never heard of corn pudding? She's never heard of corn pudding!
Oh, no. It's a song. You just started another song.
Corn pudding, corn pudding, corn pudding, corn pudding, corn pudding, corn pudding.
Can we opt out of this?
My gal loves corn pudding. She eats it constantly. Sometimes I get to wondering, does she love it more than me? Does she love it more than me?
My guy loves corn pudding. I got the recipe. So if he wants my pudding, he'll have to marry me.
Oh, he'll have to marry me. You put the corn in the pudding and the pudding in the bowl. You put the bowl in your belly because it's good for the soul. You put the corn in the pudding and the pudding in the bowl. You put the bowl in your belly because it's good for the soul.
Who wants corn pudding?
We want corn pudding.
No one wants corn pudding. Who wants corn pudding? We don't want corn pudding anyway. But that's the perfect example of how you, as being people watching it, get to follow along with your avatars in this whole situation. Like, what the fuck is going on? I've said the magic word, and now everyone's bursting into a song.
Yeah, like that's why I feel like this is an entry level show for people that aren't super into musicals. There really is they have Keegan-Michael Key's character there for you to relate to in terms of like, what are these people doing, what's going on, how do musicals work, and you kind of learn as it goes. And then for people like me that like musicals, get their stuff, and then for people like Peter who are hardcore, get all the extra juicy little bits.
I mean, I think I'm medium core. I'm medium core. Like, I didn't even get all the references in season one, even though I kind of grew up watching those musicals.
But you looked for them, and then you rewatched it, and now you know it through new eyes.
You're the hardest of corn puddings. I mean,
you are
fans.
hardcore. Pudding.
And I just want to, for people in the chat that are maybe not familiar with the concept, the story of Brigadoon is very similar to what happens in Schmigadoon. So it's loosely based on that musical where
Help me, because I've never seen Brigadoon.
Okay, so Brigadoon is a mysterious town that only appears once every 100 years in Scotland, and this couple stumble upon it, and then of course they get stuck there and can't get out. So that's kind of where the Schmigadoon comes from. And then they've like, well, it's that era of musicals, so let's like borrow from other musicals in that era as well and just mash them all together.
Thank you. Because
you're welcome.
I've seen Oklahoma. I've seen fucking a couple of the other Music Man, I think. But this is not my era of musicals at all. So
and you've seen Sound of Music, surely.
Nope.
Like, not
what?
Hang on, what?
I mean,
We're gonna have another Parks and Recreation moment, Quinny.
Yep.
I mean,
The
I'm
sound
just
of music.
The movie, not going to see it on stage. It's
You've never
available as a
seen
film.
the movie.
dude,
The
why not?
hills are dead with the sound of me not listening to the sound of music.
It's literally the same plot of Indiana Jones.
How do we solve a problem like Quinny?
Instead of Indiana
When the
Jones,
dog bites.
you've got a mistress, and it's still set in the Alps, and there's Nazis and a whole bunch of stuff.
My God, you missed so many references, Quinny.
I really
You don't
did.
know why the surprise countess was there.
Yeah.
No, there's massive amounts of the first season that I was like, huh, cool.
Oh,
What about The King and I? Have you seen The King and I?
Bits of, never seen the whole show.
the Yul Brynner one, or the
Well, I mean, the movie is obviously the easiest to
Yeah.
access, but
I-
the musical.
As I say, this is an era of musicals that I've not really gotten into much, and as such, the first season didn't really grab me. Like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I got that they were squishing things together and they were referencing things, and like there are tropes that I know, like because they have become tropes and been used
Right.
lots of other times. But I've like this, yeah, I just don't have the extensive knowledge of this era of musicals.
Mm.
For some reason, just never grabbed me. They like the Gilbert and Sullivan musicals. Don't like the music. Don't particularly. I find them.
Pirates
yeah.
of Penzance.
Rodgers and Hammerstein.
What are you
I
talking
love
about?
Pirates of Penzance. Pirates of Penzance is one of my favorite musicals of all time.
And one that is not referenced in this show.
No, which I was disappointed by.
There's a lot of
In fact,
stuff there.
I like the other version of Pirates of Penzance, which is just called The Pirate Movie.
Oh.
Yes, true.
I thought it was
See-
pirates with no pants.
No. The Pirate Movie came out in the 80s, and it was where somebody went, hey, let's do Pirates of Penzance, but let's get rid of some of the boring songs and put 80s power ballads in there instead. It's fucking hilarious. And if you haven't seen it, go and find it. It's dumb as shit.
Can I just reference before? I know we've got a fair bit to do, and we're already halfway through our stuff on this, and we have a whole bunch of other more musical things to go. I want to talk just quickly about the creators of Schmigadoon and how they're kind of mirror universe South Park creators. Because we're all familiar with other musical fans, which is Matt Stone and Trey Parker, who love to mercilessly rip the shit out of Mormons. And what I like about Cinco Paul and Ken Dario, who are the creators of this and have done a lot of musical work and stuff, is they're actually Mormons.
Oh.
So they're part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and it's literally like there are two like groups of creators. There's the Trey Parker, Matt Stone group, and then there's this group, which is literally Mormons making musicals. And I want them to all collaborate together and make a musical because it would be hilarious.
Yeah, that would be pretty
They
great.
may tear each other apart, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that would be the point. And also, as we all know from the Mormon side, they would just let it happen. Like,
Yeah.
they wouldn't do anything about it. They'd just be like, okay.
I don't know. I've met some Mormons who fuck you up.
Really?
Like they'll feel bad about it later, but they'll fuck you up. They wear magical underwear, dude.
Sure.
Well, it's also funny because obviously there's a running theme in season one about kind of American religious puritanicalism and why that's maybe not great. So that's fun. But we can, I think.
And Kristen Chenoweth fucking owning that character like there's no.
Well, Tribulation. I don't know if you got that far, Quinny, but Tribulation, the number was a feat because it's like a 5-minute one-er that like she does this entire piece.
Yeah. And it's amazing. Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like it's not my favorite song by any means, but it is an excellent parody of a song in Music Man, and it's a fantastic performance. But why don't we we can slide straight into talking about season 2 because it's all kind of the same thing. And I feel like season 2 might have a little bit more love from the group.
I kind of do. Like, I still want to have a bit of a break where we get to see the trailer for season 2, so then we can get context and then we can come back. So I still would like to do that. I just want to
do you want to separate it out that we
No. We can
season one and
do it.
season
We
two?
can review them all together. We can leave our review to the end.
I
because
reckon we just rate at the end and just talk about both
it's
seasons.
it's our show. We can do whatever we want. I do want to talk about.
There are a few things that kind of confused me a little bit in season 1, and it possibly was because I haven't seen the requisite things. But
Was
Jane
it
Krakowski,
The surprise countess.
yeah, so surprise countess, who is there for like what, an episode and a bit, has one song and then disappears, and I was like, what the fuck?
It is a very obvious Sound of Music reference. So if you had seen the Sound of Music, you would understand. Jane
Okay, so this is
Krakowski.
on me then, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
this is on you.
Can we talk about the cast? I know we started talking about this, but this is quite
Yes.
literally like American Broadway musical royalty are
Dream
all
casting.
involved in this. And also, I kind of feel bad not knowing who's all in the back line and doing, the ensembles and stuff, but they all look like they are definitely theater performers who happen to be in a TV show, and they nailed every single fucking take.
Yep.
But also they practiced for 12 months beforehand to nail every single fucking take. And they probably shot it in 4 days.
And also probably interesting for them because they are parodying essentially their own job as well. So they're essentially playing comedic parody versions of characters that they play straight on stage generally.
Yeah, well, they're all in on the joke, let's be honest. No one turned up to film Schmigadoon going, I'm just doing this normally, darling. Like, no, it's all jokes. We're just joking. We're taking the piss. So keep doing it normally, but take the piss.
The cast list. And so obviously our first two, Keegan-Michael Key and Cecily Strong, who are the lead characters to take it through us. But then you get, as we said, some I guess, Broadway luminaries, Kristen Chenoweth, who obviously incredibly well-known musical singer and voice like you wouldn't believe. Alan Cumming, who many nerds will know as Nightcrawler from X-Men 2, but
is a much more prolific Broadway actor.
Yeah, exactly.
and film actor. Like, he's done other stuff.
No, he's just only Nightcrawler.
Oh, good Lord.
But I mean, great, more people in there, like Martin Short.
Yeah, he's only in there shortly, but I enjoy him.
Ariana DeBose, who is like my standout favorite in season 2.
Yeah.
And
She was only in season 2 for 2 seconds.
Yeah, she's very, very underused.
And she had a couple of good songs in season 2.
Did she?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the MC. Right. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't think she was as obviously sort of used in season 2.
Apparently, she was only available for a very short time of filming, so they just used her for a couple of great songs, and not so much for plot.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Let's be honest, like 2 episodes into this, you're not actually watching it for the plot. You're watching it to see what ridiculous situation that's musically referenced they're going to get into this time. And you don't really give a shit about their story until you get to the end.
And which I do have some plot issues that I can talk about later. But have we said Dove Cameron?
No, that was the next one on the list.
Who is MVP in quite a few of the numbers, in my opinion.
Yep. Aaron Tveit.
Yes, I love him.
I don't know what other people have seen him in, but
Quinny, did you watch Les Mis, the movie?
We don't speak of Les Mis, the movie, Jeff.
I did actually, and I didn't much like it.
Well, okay.
I watched Russell Crowe dropping all the notes he was handed.
Yeah.
Look, Les Mis the musical can be a whole separate podcast. Like, if we need to do it, that is a conversation that needs to be had. But if we get into it now, we will run out of schmig time.
But Aaron Tveit is great. In the season 1, he's the town rapscallion. Yes. And then in season 2, he was the stand-in Jesus, Pippin, Godspell, Hair, whatever you want guy. And I was watching him just going, perfect.
It's great. Look, there's lots of people in there, like pretty much everyone who gets a line or something to say, or even a song part or a whole song in it, actually is someone who has a great pedigree of both musicals and comedy. I just really like the whole cast because I was like, oh my God, these people are amazing. And they're absolutely selling it.
Yes, absolutely.
They eat all the scenery, but you're just enjoying watching them eat.
I was actually slightly sad that we only got Fred Armisen in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in season 2? I swear he was in season 2.
No, he wasn't in season 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sadly no. But yeah. So yeah, fucking great cast. And the thing I liked about the season 1 was that whole thing that it was so obviously referencing the musicals of its time in the design, in the look, but also in the staging. Like all of the musical numbers are staged in the way that they would be in a 1940s, 50s musical. I was like, oh, this is fucking clever. Like from a technical perspective, the lighting, everything.
The choreo, like it just pitch perfect the whole way through, which is it's I guess the way that the perfectness of that stuff plays off against the comedy, and Keegan-Michael Key's reaction to it is what makes it so much fun, I think.
So I think we should just go quickly skip into season 2 trailer so you can understand
Let's jump into season
change
2.
From season 1, the homely, the wholesome, the wonderful town of Schmigadoon where everyone's having a great time the whole time, except it's not. Everyone's having a terrible time. And then it goes, it all resolves itself quite nicely in season 1. And then it goes into season 2, which is, to be honest, a bit of a change.
That's the foot.
Any pain? What's wrong?
That's the foot.
Feels like we should be happier.
Any pain?
I want Schmigadoon. Happy people and bright colors. Schmigadoon, where are you?
Maybe it's one of those places that you only go once and never return.
Oh, like Cell Cycle.
Schmicago?
Welcome to Schmicago.
This is very different.
Now our heroes enter the city of Schmicago. Who is he talking to?
At one point, a lot of musicals had narrators. Sorry, go ahead.
Really? Do I have your permission? Uh-oh. He's peppery.
Clearly, we're in the next era of musicals here.
Do we shock you?
These musicals are darker, with more sex.
Oh, yeah.
And violence.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
How are we supposed to make a happy ending here? These musicals don't have happy endings.
Sounds like someone needs a lesson in the power of happiness. Who wants to get naked?
What I need is a lawyer.
Once I've worked my magic, no jury will ever convict your hubby, even if he kills again.
Josh didn't do it.
Uh-huh.
History and logic, endings that are tragic. Welcome to, welcome to, welcome to, welcome to, welcome to, welcome to, welcome to Chicago.
Sounds like another wild night in Schmicago.
So, you two want the girl?
You need my help to answer that question?
No, thank you.
Yes. I love all those jokes that still run through the whole thing.
Now, in case you haven't picked it up yet, Schmicago is maybe based on the musical Chicago.
I so thought you were going to say cabaret.
Well, that too.
Uh-huh. And a little bit of everything else from the 70s.
Well, what have we got? We've got a lot of Pippin, which was difficult for me because that's not one that I've seen.
I've seen Pippin.
Fantastic Jesus Christ Superstar. We've got some Godspell. We've got some Sweet Charity. We've got some.
You're rattling off all these things I've never heard of.
Massive reference. Annie is a major reference.
Yeah.
And I found with season 2, the references, particularly in the beginning half of the season, were much, much more direct.
Yeah.
We're kind of, getting songs that were.
I mean, come on, it started right away with Titus Burgess going, I'm a narrator, and that's my job. My job is to spell out to you what's going on. And it's like, don't tell me what to do. This is my thing.
What I love about it is also that they do reference that kind of thing. They go, okay, so during the 60s and 70s, suddenly they started putting narrators in fucking everything because it was easier than having plot. Just have the narrator do the job and then move to the next fucking song.
One of the problems is if you're watching a musical and you maybe zone out for a second or don't hear the lines correctly, you don't quite understand how it's sung, you could lose critical information. Like we all missed that part of The Sound of Music where it was actually an Allied forces plot to take down Hitler. It was in the first song, man.
Well,
it's only in the director's cut. If you haven't seen that, you wouldn't get it.
Of course.
Of course.
Dion coming with the deep references here.
Deep.
Deep I love that Peta Kangaroo is just trolling us gently in the thing. Goes, this wasn't Guys and Dolls. I don't know. There was a flavor of Guys and Dolls in there.
I can only understand video game trolling. Like, I really love playing as Zelda in that game, The Adventures of Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So the look is very different. The character, everybody gets to play a different character except for Cecily Strong and Keegan-Michael Key.
They get to play differently too.
They do get to play it differently. One of the things I like about this season is that Cecily Strong's character also isn't super familiar with these musicals, so they're navigating it with slightly less grace than in the first season.
But also Keegan-Michael Key's character is a little bit more like, I'm into this shit. This has got sex. This has got a lot of people in fishnets. I am here for this. Everybody's getting naked. Cool.
I feel like a lot of the audience was like, oh yeah, this is like, an era that we're more likely to have touched on a lot of these musicals, things like Schmicago and Sweeney Todd that have had much more recent movie adaptations.
Are we allowed to talk about the Johnny Depp adaptation of Sweeney Todd?
Well, we don't need to. We don't need to. I mean, Sondheim is Sondheim, and I much prefer Alan Cumming in this particular role. So what I what I really love about this season is that, to me, it kind of feels like it starts off with like very one-note direct references, which is kind of fun, but also like I could just be watching Schmicago. And then as the season goes through, things start to really kind of mash up in a really, really fun way. So it gets more interesting as you keep watching.
Does that thing that I love where it sort of, as you say, it starts quite clearly going, here's our hair reference and a bit of Godspell, and here's our cabaret reference, and here's our thing. And then somewhere in the middle, episode 3 or 4 or something like that, they have the big musical crossover number, which is the end of Act 1 musical crossover where all of the themes get smooshed together and people start doing their bit and it's all leading up to something big. And I'm like, and that was a thing that happened in musicals of the 70s. I was like, fuck yes.
It is just so well done. That's what kind of like, you don't have to love everything about it, but it is just so well done.
Yeah. And all of the references that they kind of like Bobby, what's her name?
Jane Krakowski. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of a character's name. Bobby Flanagan.
Yeah. Who was like direct piss take from another character.
Billy Flynn from Chicago.
Yeah.
To the point where they're doing bits out of Chicago and having him be the puppet master and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, wow, we're not even being slightly subtle here.
But there's also so much more going on in the choreo for this one as well. Like there are choreography references to very specific choreography for musicals all the way through this as well. And I think Bobby's courtroom song is a prime example of that. Like if you look at the nerd thread on that, it was like there's this bit of choreography from this musical and this bit of choreography from that musical. And it's like, there's like a lot of Fosse, but there's...
I even messaged Peter.
Like it's very Fosse heavy.
Yeah, I was watching it and I was like, oh, whatever the song it was it Come to Talk to Daddy?
Talk to Daddy, yeah.
No, it was Do We Shock You?
Oh yeah.
Because I was watching that and I'm like, oh my God, there's a lot of Fosse happening here, isn't there? They're just flossing all over the place. Oh, God.
Well, we do have that clip for Do We Shock You? Do you want to have a little bit of listen to that?
Yeah, I fucking love this song.
All right, we'll do it. We won't do the whole thing because it's very long, and Twitch likes to banhammer after about 30 seconds if you're playing too much music. But anyway, here's some Do We Shock You?
Do we shock you? Make you ill at ease? Do we offend your tender sensibilities? There's no norm we won't transgress. Look, there's a man and he's wearing a dress.
Yeah, I mean, I've literally seen every season of Drag Race, so.
Do we scare you? Are you too refined? I'm into boys and girls. Does that just blow your mind? Other girls get thanked and tipped. Us, we just like to get spanked and whipped.
Wonder if the meatloaf's any good.
Yeah, there's a little taste of.
There was a bit at the beginning of that song that I wish that they'd actually referenced or explained. But it was as they walked into the club, they walk in the middle of a tableau. And I just wish that one of the characters had said, what's going on? It's a tableau. They did it a lot. Because that would have made me laugh.
Yes, and I also love that we're presenting all of these themes to the modern audience, back in the time when they were originally it was shocking to think about all of those things and confronting, and now it's just kind of like, like, I'm a bisexual woman on stage. I wonder what the meatloaf's like.
Yeah.
It's like, kind of just-
There's a man in a dress.
Yeah. And that's what I like about the thing I liked most about it, apart from enjoying musicals and watching them sort of have the piss taken out of them, is that they were understanding how that even though that some of them were ridiculous, it's still such a wonderful art form that you can have a lot of fun with it, and you're supposed to have a lot of fun with it. Like, people forget musicals are designed to so you have fun. Like, if you went in to watch a musical and you're like, this isn't very serious at all, I don't find that costume historically accurate. This is it's not a documentary. It's
entertainment.
It's an it's trash versions of stuff that was going on at that time.
The reason I find that song so funny is because I've been involved in local theatre, like local small town theatre, and when they do their version of Chicago or their version of Cabaret, you could see all of the people going, it's so sexy. Oh my God, it's so hot. Everything's so raunchy. And then you watch it and it's like, it's people in fishnets. They're like, yes, you spend a lot of time with your legs spread wide, but it's not that fucking shocking, guys.
It is comparatively for people who spend a lot of time not doing that and it not really being socially acceptable in a broader sense of that time.
Yeah.
To, suddenly be confronted with, isn't that Bob from the hardware store?
Yeah.
I know that person. And then, it's like, but I'm in a musical. It's like, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that local politician.
Yeah. Again.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
My favorite moment
Okay.
in the second season. Out of am I?
No, you
were, but you're back now.
Keep going, Pete. You're back now.
Did we stop you? Did we break your flow?
Yeah.
My very favorite moment out of a lot of moments I really enjoyed was when Alan Cumming and Kristen Chenoweth do a Sweeney Todd, Annie, Godspell, Bye Bye Birdie, Oliver mashup.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that the Eat the Kids one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't know Bye Bye Birdie that well, but I knew all the rest.
Yeah. It definitely had some notes and some orchestration from Bye Bye Birdie in there. But you would have definitely got the Godspell.
It's got some orchestration from Bye Bye Birdie.
Yeah.
And that one, I didn't even need to look up the thread for that one. That one I heard because it's a musical I'm reasonably familiar with.
That's how good she is.
Yeah.
But and the
Industry.
Oliver stuff, that was mainly in the choreo. But the
Yeah.
thing that I didn't get was that the actual, even though the orchestration is initially Sondheim, Sweeney Todd,
Very
and then kind of
strong.
switches over to Annie, the actual melody is like ripped straight out of Godspell, which is
Yep.
one that I wouldn't have picked on my own because it's not one that I know. And then it just all comes together in this like number that feels perfect. And I feel like it's half just like such good musical writing, but also half kind of understanding that all of these musicals are referencing each other to an extent as
That's
well.
actually a wonderful point, because you are seeing the work of a time period and they are referencing each other. They're riffing off each other. And when you see Godspell, you can also see elements of that reflected in JC Superstar. And, you know, the clownish fucking outfits that they wore in Pippin, you also see in Godspell and all that kind of stuff. And it gets deeply weird when the things that have almost nothing to do with that. So the cabaret, the Chicago, the darker Mean Street stuff crosses over into it, and it becomes very strange. But
did you enjoy your Jesus Christ Superstar references, Quinny?
My mind is clearer now. At last, all too well, I can see. Yes, of course, I fucking loved it. I actually really enjoyed, what's his name, Mr. Cat? Patrick Page as Octavius Kratt.
Oh, his voice. I wish that we'd be able to hear more of his voice.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Like, if he hasn't played Caiaphas at some point in time in JC Superstar, then I don't know what the fuck he's doing with his life.
But you've seen him before.
But he's amazing in Hadestown.
I've never seen Hadestown.
You've seen him before on stage.
No, dude,
A relatively new one.
Yeah, but listen to the soundtrack. It's brilliant.
I just looked up what else he's been in.
Yes, Spider-Man, Turn Off the Dark.
He was the fucking god, Green Goblin. Oh,
not a patch on Willem Dafoe.
No.
But it is a good example of how, you know, sometimes what they're doing is basically pulling phrases here and there. So you kind of get that sense of like, just for a second, you're like, it's Jesus Christ Superstar. And then it kind of goes away again. And you get these kind of earworms. Like after a musical number finishes, you realize you have an earworm, but it's a different song because you get the earworm of one of the phrases that were kind of referenced, you know. And it just all kind of builds on each other.
What was the sad macaroon? No, what was the
sad macaroon?
That was a reference to something Mandarin.
The jaded, faded, sated mandarin.
Yeah.
What was it? I can't remember what the macaroon was, but it was like, because that's a stupid fucking line out of that musical.
Something I missed. Sorry.
Sour macaroon.
Sour macaroon.
It's JC Superstar where one of the characters is like I can't remember. Basically calls him a fading mandarin, a la the Chinese emperor.
Right. I'm sorry, I have to admit, I've never seen Jesus Christ Superstar.
Jesus Christ.
Superstar. Look, it's fine, Dion. It's fine. You know what?
Flying
you kind of
around
to be there
in
with
his
JC
magic
Superstar,
car.
I have to say. Like if you didn't listen to it in the 80s, like you probably maybe it's past.
It is powerfully 70s.
It is. Yes. It's got a sound.
But it had a 90s revival in Australia.
And
that's where I got.
Saw as a child.
Is Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat the same as Jesus Christ Superstar?
No. Totally different. Weird. Oh, Joseph is one of those fucking shows that people love or they hate. And I'm in kind of the hate bucket.
I've seen neither.
It's Lloyd Webber's weird amalgam that he just put it with cats.
So it was the first musical that Andrew Lloyd Webber actually wrote when he was about 16. And you can hear it because he's just going, okay,
Well, what about what's that shitty one now? Bad Cinderella? Fucking put that in the bin.
I don't know Bad Cinderella. What?
Oh God, it's his latest atrocity.
Oh no.
Well,
Yeah.
he's gone through now.
Yeah.
From
Look that one up later, guys.
Predakanga's mentioning Tim Minchin doing one of the songs from JC Superstar. I'm not sure
Yeah.
where you can find it, but the Tim Minchin version that they put out on YouTube during lockdown was fucking mint.
Yeah,
like
that one was phenomenal.
Yeah, and did a pretty good job of updating the music and making it a little less 70s.
It is really heavily 70s.
Yeah.
And a bit angry.
Do we feel confident we could rate it and then sort of discuss the future of Schmigadoon?
Yeah.
Is that something?
Yeah.
Or have you got some more stuff to talk about? Do you want to?
Did we have another musical clip? Or
I've got the one that you were probably wanted there, Quinny, which was the "You Betrayed Me." Or do you want to go full 70s?
We better, if we're talking about JC Superstar.
We'll go full 70s.
This is
and you can recover and think about what you want to rate it when we come back. And so, can people in the chat, you can rate it too. Let's see how we go.
Oh, hey, you guys. You two have a lot of nerve showing up here.
What do you mean?
You betrayed me, you egomaniac. You swooped right in and swiped my drive and stabbed me in the back.
I didn't ask to leave, and it is they who chose me.
Is that supposed to make me feel better? 'Cause it doesn't. It makes me feel the exact opposite. You betrayed You're like a sour macaroon, a sour macaroon, a sourdough of almond flour, sour macaroon.
A what?
I thought you were my friend. I am.
Yeah, okay, a sour macaroon, and then
Yeah,
a little bit of sexual tension at the end, and
a little bit of power, and was it almond flour, sour macaroon?
Cool. Thanks, 70s. You were doing a lot of LSD.
Yes. Also, there's a lot of hair in there. And the chair as well.
Flowing hair.
And so many of these musicals I've either had friends in or seen or gone to multiple times or been in, and I was just like, oh yes.
Yeah, this season was Quinny's jam.
Yeah. What were you going to ask, Pete?
Well, I was going to say, so what do we think is next for Schmigadoon?
Well, I mean, the final episode, we got a little taste of Rocky Horror and Dreamgirls, which was my favorite number. So we're going to head into the 80s, I assume.
Yeah, you probably noticed in the first season, the very last musical number was outside of the style that they'd been working in and more in the musical style of these 70s musicals, which everyone felt at the time kind of hinted that we were moving into another era. And there were quite a few 80s references with Phantom referenced and Dreamgirls in the last episode.
Fame, which, I mean, Fame is one of those ones that I think is technically an early 80s musical. But it's very early 80s or late 70s, and I can never be 100% sure which.
One would hope if we were to drift into the 80s that there would be some Les Mis.
And also, my
Poor
favorite.
Pete, she just wants a Les Mis reference.
I
guys.
know.
Cats.
No.
Nobody wants that, Dion.
No.
Nobody wants that. Although it would be so easy to parody.
I know. You just,
But I mean, do you feel
Jellicle Cats doing something?
I feel like they should do that. They should come back and be like completely threatening in their entire run in season 3 of just like, we're going to go full cats and never do it. And occasionally just one side character goes, that doesn't sound very Jellicle, and everyone just beats them up and then puts them in a cupboard. And get back in there. That's not happening. We're not doing cats.
I'm looking ahead to musicals of the 80s, and one would assume that they'd probably do 80s and 90s, judging by the fact that they're kind of doing conglomerate stuff.
Yeah.
And how's it going to go when they get all the way up to like current day? Like, as is Lin-Manuel Miranda going to
Yeah.
turn up and be like, what is going on?
People have asked, when is Schmamilton happening? And Cinco said maybe season 5.
Oh.
That would be
but there
amazing.
is no confirmed season 3 at this stage, and
which
things are a little bit
hurts me.
rocky for anything happening anywhere at all at the moment.
Yeah.
But it is such a tight show that I would hope that Apple TV would have a budget in them for a 3rd season where the writers get paid well.
I'm a bit sad they didn't do Schmigadoon.
That's
but
80s
that could, but that could come easily, and we can get a
Ah.
bunch of. But there's also Schmies.
Well, this I could very easily imagine them going hardcore into Greece for the
Greece
next.
the 70s though.
No.
Greece
It is.
and
Which
the other one that was referenced in the last episode.
Rocky Horror. Or...
Thank you, Rocky Horror. Are both
You mean
75.
schmocky horror?
Oh, okay.
You've got to put the schmo in
Greece
front
was
of all of it.
technically 71.
Yeah, everyone forgets that.
But I think Little Shop is 80s.
It is
So
very much so.
there's-
And
There you go.
Little schmock.
Watch
You
the
know,
shit out of
a lot of Lloyd Webber to do in the 80s. And you would think like a lot of season 2 was like Sondheim Schwartz. So, they might kind of do that thing. And a lot of 1 was Rodgers and Hammerstein. Oscars.
Gilbert and Sullivan.
Rodgers and Hammerstein. So, they could take the approach where, we've got Andrew Lloyd Webber and someone else taking the lead for the 80s. But I guess we'll just have to see.
I mean, there are some bangers in the 80s. Like we could get Chess, we can get Phantom, we could get Les Mis, of course. Evita.
Yeah, right.
You know, there's a lot in there that could be great, but also
Very ballady.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there is also Starlight Express.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
And I mean,
I would love to see them do The Wiz, but they've already kind of gone past the 70s. So
I mean, is anyone like are they doing 80s or are they doing 90s as well in this one? Do you think?
Well, I mean, they'll probably try to kind of link it thematically, like rather than.
I just want to see if they can throw in the boy from Oz.
Well,
you know, also there's like Miss Saigon and a whole bunch of other things, you know.
Yeah.
That we can get in there as well. It's replete with like, what can we throw in here and how will that work?
I also like the bit where they kind of reference, was it a chorus line in season 2? Like the bit where they were auditioning for the club. Like there were definite kind of
a chorus line is what I immediately picked out of that. And that's one that I didn't see spoken about a lot, but I was like, no. Like I've seen a chorus line. This is definitely a chorus line. But a chorus line isn't the right era. So I don't know. Yeah.
And I think maybe they're
let's
kind
not
of like just
police the
whatever.
references too hard.
Yeah.
If we want to. No, it must be clearly 7.
Ratings.
Oh yes, ratings.
Oh yeah.
Ratings before we go.
Oh, Blood Brothers. There's another.
I know that Freddie Kangaroo already gave us 85, so he's jumped in high mark straight around. Anyone else with?
Thank you. I
let
will
us
put
know.
that in the list.
I'm going to give it 90 because I think it's like one of the most fun TV shows I've seen in a long time. And I was kind of annoyed that I had to watch season 2 week to week because I just wanted to watch the whole thing.
Also, it's short enough. Like it is. Like I think Peter, you said
I hate how short it is. I
You-
wish
you-
there were more than 6 episodes.
you're putting that out as a
because
pro
they're so
there,
good.
Peter, because it's like, well, they're short and they're easy to go. So yeah, they're about a half hour to 40 minutes each. But
Too short.
It's so much work. Like you can see the work into
Yeah.
those episodes goes into the screen because it's tight, it's well done, and it flows very well.
And apparently all of the translations, all of the episodes in other languages are performed by, famous musical performers in that language. And it's all like
so
fully
cool.
translated
Wow.
and reperformed. And like, it must just be a huge amount of work.
Wow.
I would say though, that I feel like episode 6 plot wise, not that we've spoken at all really about plot, it felt really really rushed to me, and a lot of like the tying up of things just felt really convenient. But maybe that's also how the musicals of the era felt a little bit. So
Yes and no. I actually thought that they'd written themselves into a bit of a corner with that, because a lot of the musicals of that era ended badly. There were no happy endings.
I mean, also
I was
episode-
waiting for Josh to get fucking crucified somewhere along the
Or
line.
the episode is also called Over and Done.
Yeah.
This one is done. This one is finished.
did you guys, by the way, get confused at all by that Burt Bacharach-esque track right in the middle? Because I had no idea that Burt Bacharach had written a musical.
Which one was that? The
last track in the 5th episode. What was it called?
What like the goodbye song?
Oh, There's Always a Twist.
Oh yeah, like I was underwhelmed by that.
There is an entire Burt Bacharach musical, and apparently that one takes from Say a Little Prayer, which wasn't written for that musical. But I was like, this just sounds like a 1970s pop song. What is happening? But it was still apparently a musical reference.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that was one of the ones that kind of lost me, and I did feel like, I'll be honest with you, I felt like season 2 kind of stumbled a little bit in the last couple of episodes.
And how does that affect your rating, Quinny? Because Jill did very, very well segue back into ratings.
She did. So I think my rating, I heard you. I was going to throw to Peter because I'm still formulating my ideas. I don't know. I am going to go 88 miles per hour.
Oh.
It's like season 1 was a lot of fun, but didn't really like have that magical hold on
Because
me.
you don't know the musicals.
Exactly. Yeah. I firmly admit that that's on me, not on the show. Subtle. And season 2, I thought was super strong. I had a lot of fun with it, but yeah, the last episode I felt just kind of lost its way, and I thought that there could have been a big final number that really tied all of the musical threads together, and I don't feel like we got it.
You didn't like the Muppet Show final number that was based on Rainbow Connection?
I did, but it wasn't the thing that quite tore. Like I was expecting a little bit more of kind of like all of the musical threads brought together, as opposed to it's a schmaltzy happy ending.
It is a schmaltzy happy ending. That's true.
Yeah.
I like, we haven't talked a lot about plot, but there are some things that did kind of shit me a bit with the plot. Like in the first series, how we kind of once again paint a woman who's just advocating for herself in her own relationship as incredibly controlling.
Yeah.
And that she just has to be less controlling, and not that her boy is being a dick. And there's a plot point at the very, very end, which I guess would be spoilery, but I don't know if anyone cares, that irritated me a little bit in season 2 in terms of kind of magically resolving like serious fertility issues, which I just think is just a little bit.
Yeah.
I just didn't love it.
No, I agree.
I think it's a little bit of a cop out, and not particularly nice for audience members who don't get magical resolutions to their serious fertility issues. So like, I didn't 100% love every little thing about this. But unfortunately, my love of musicals overtook my exceptions that I was taking to those kinds of things. So I'm going to give it a 93 and just say that I think that it's super tight and incredibly well written.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that number again, Pete. I was scribbling something else.
93.
93. Thank you.
I'm giving you a solid 10 out of 100. Sorry, I misspoke. How do you solve a problem like a Dion? Yeah, look, I had a great time watching all this. It's very funny. Half of the stuff I didn't really get, but like, I can't feel like watching it. Like, I watch this because it's fun and it makes me feel good. And I like to watch it the way that Jill was saying, which is all together. I just want to watch all of it in seasonal stuff, so I'd probably avoid it that way, but it is just a nice, fun, happy-go-lucky thing, and it's obviously crafted with a lot of love, and it's crafted with a hell of a lot of professionalism around it, which is great. And you're putting two really great things together that are very creative. You've got comedy and musicals, and push them together to make a very entertaining piece that comes out all the time, which is surprisingly PG. Like, that's one of the things that comes out of it too, is like, this isn't something that you have to worry about showing to kids or showing to people. Like, sure, they won't get half the jokes, but you're just kind of like, oh yeah, all right, okay, it's great. And I really look forward to seeing, getting up to the more contemporary kind of musicals that I started to watch, a la Rocky Horror Picture Show, which was probably the first kind of musical, and I was like, oh yeah, great. So I'm going to give it 95. I think Schmigadoon is successful across all boards.
That was higher than me. Maybe I should bump mine to 95.
Sure, I can move mine down to 85 if that helps. So you feel like higher. I think Schmigadoon's great.
Oh, I'm glad that you guys liked it after I forced you to watch it. Sorry about that. But like, do I ever steer you wrong?
She didn't make us watch C, so she's higher up in my books than you guys.
Make us watch what?
C.
Oh, this was like the letter. What? Oh,
let me tell you, I've watched a few Apple movies recently, or Apple series that have come across, and a couple of them hadn't been great. But it's rare that you get a misstep every now and again. But when they clang so well. I kind of like that.
Like Ghosted.
Yeah, Apple is a beautiful piano that just has one key. You don't know which key it is, and it bong, and they keep going. And it's like, cool.
But I would say to our musical fans out there, please go and watch this, and then come to the TPToA nerd thread for everything else and talk about it, because I want to find my musical nerd people.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Like, I'm actually slightly disappointed that Tari is not here tonight, because I know that she is a musical person and plays instruments and stuff like that, and I imagine would probably get a real kick out of this. So yeah, but there are definitely people out there who are either closeted or out and proud musical nerds.
You don't need to be closeted. You can just be like, I like musicals. What up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because a guy watches some musicals doesn't mean he can't start some shit.
Yeah.
Sure.
I feel like musicals are having their moment,
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get a Marvel musical multiverse?
Well, they're actually turning the Captain America one
into a real musical.
Yes.
Yeah,
no, they play it at
Rogers.
Avengers Campus at Disney.
That's the one.
Rogers the musical. Would
Rogers
be
the
very
musical.
funny.
They played it at Disneyland.
I'm assuming it's not a whole full-length musical. It's probably just a few songs, but
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot the other science fiction one that was a musical, which was the Star Wars Holiday Special.
That's the great thing about musicals. Anything can be a musical if you try hard enough. It's also
This
why I
is so
don't fully
true.
believe people who say, I just don't like musicals. Because I'm like, I don't know, like, do you not like music? Because if you like music, there is a musical for you. Like, you just need to find the one that has the style of music that you enjoy in it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a big difference between Once and Hamilton
I love
and
Once.
Jesus Christ Superstar,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be open.
Yeah. What do we got next week?
Batman the musical.
Batman the
No.
musical. Go with a smile.
I've literally listened to some of the songs from Batman the musical that got cancelled because it was terrible.
I've never heard of a musical being terrible, Quinny. I've seen a lot of off-Broadway productions that should be cancelled, but I mean,
we have.
What are we doing next week?
Renfield.
Whoa!
You're going to suck our blood.
Yeah. Good. I've got two stage luminaries, Nicholas Hoult and Nick Cage. The two Nicks.
Two Nicks.
The two. I've just started watching season 3 of The Great.
Oh, I finished it the
I'm
other day.
I'm catching up on the end of season 2, and then I've got season 3. Is it? Wait, which one's the one Gillian Anderson came in?
That was
season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm still in that one. I'm still in that thing. So
Right.
And I'm about to get to season 3, I think.
Yeah. I finished it last night. It's good.
It's good. It's good. It's a great show.
It is. It's
Very funny.
great.
I should probably catch up on that. Is Peter, do you recommend it?
The Great.
Yes.
Yes, highly.
Have you
We've
already
talked about that,
recommended?
haven't we?
Yeah,
I was going to say, have you already
Yes.
recommended it to us? Okay, then I guess I
we
better
we
watch
did a whole podcast about it.
which I don't think I was in.
No, but if you're going to watch a TV show, watch Parks and fucking Recreation and then go watch The Great.
Yeah, well, when we run out of scripted content in the depths of the writer's strike, Quinny is going to be fine.
I've got so much
Yep.
shit
So
to
much
watch.
to
I've got
watch.
musicals and
Yep.
all sorts of shit.
Yep. Solidarity to the writers and everyone who's taking industrial action
Yes.
to make people pay their way, and also big fuck you to the streaming services removing content.
Yeah, stop purging your shit, you assholes.
We all went to your streaming service because we were sick of having to buy digital media and we had access to your entire library. But if you start doing this shit again, we'll just start going back to the old ways, yar.
Yeah. One of one of our shows that's probably been watched on YouTube more than any other is The Princess. Like inexplicably, for whatever reason, a heap of people were like, "Oh, I want to find a review of The Princess," which is now being removed from Disney.
Oh.
And it's one of those ones that you will probably never find on physical media because it was a mid-budget kind of
It
fun.
was straight to streaming. I didn't get a cinema release.
No, and this is what we're starting to see is, and I'm glad that SAG as well is having their vote at the moment to decide whether they strike as well, because they fucking should. Like there is so much to be fought for here, and it's about the fact I saw a really good explanation of it today, which is it's not about the fact that writers want to be paid more. It's not even about the fact that they want things to be fair. They just want to stop losing money, because the way that it was is that they got paid for episodes of TV shows, but the companies don't think of streaming as TV. So they don't pay the same as what they did for TV.
Right.
So it's not that they're even asking for anything. They just want the job they do to be continue to be called the same fucking thing and paid the same way. And yeah, we're in a very dangerous situation where people are starting to go, you know what, content. All it is
just
is money that we can either claw back or spend. It's not actually, people don't have anything invested in it. People don't care about it.
And pay people one-off things like as a flat rate, because it's like, well, there's so much out there we can't afford to do, to pay you residuals.
We don't even know how to work out our residuals.
How would we know how
so we're just
often
not
they're
going
streamed? It's like, for fuck's sake.
How would we know?
I do love that. It's like, back in the days of ratings, where people were taking a fucking shot in the dark as to how many people were actually watching the shows. They're like, oh no, we'll pay you based on that. But now that they actually have physical numbers.
Yeah. And that those numbers are actually out there. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, it almost makes me want to go out and buy season 1 of Willow on DVD.
Does it though?
Mainly because I'm just so angry at them for removing it. I'm like, I mean, I know it's shit, but you're just pissing me off by taking something away that I already kind of paid for. Like,
yeah.
That's always the danger we're going to have in this situation, where you technically don't own
shit.
You don't own any of the copies. You own access to a service.
Yeah.
Fucking lawyers.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're in whatever way you can support the writers, support anyone that is doing the striking, because like retweet them, support them, tell them they're doing the great thing, because they'll fucking need it.
And don't bloody complain at them about the show you were looking forward to being delayed.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, go and watch one
It
of
is
the
what
other
it is.
50,000 shows.
Yeah,
that
there's
are on a streaming
plenty
service.
out there. And if you're really upset with this whole idea of them, not producing enough content, just try and dip your toe into fucking reality television. That will give you.
Well,
that
you
will
know
give
what? Produce your own content and see how easy it is.
Yeah. Give it a go.
Yeah, reality TV. You try watching that for a while and giving yourself fucking acid reflux, and then start going, no, it's fine. Pay them whatever they want. We need decent content, even halfway decent content. That'd be great.
I love the thing that it did the rounds there for a little while. It was like, you think you know how bad a writer's strike can be? Let me tell you the apocryphal story of Heroes season 2.
Oh man, such potential was going to be amazing.
Yeah,
but fair enough. And then it was just bad.
Fucking awful.
Don't worry, chatbot will write it for us. Anyway, yeah. Okay, sorry. Quinny.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we will see you next week. I suppose we should see whether anyone is currently doing a thing that we could raid.
Yeah.
Look, let's go and raid Barjo, shall we?
Sure.
Thanks
Yeah,
everyone
that'll
in
be
the chat.
fun.
We'll see you next time. You can go out and see Renfield from Thursday, and we'll talk about it next Tuesday. Let's talk about some stuff like that till next time. Thank you for all your musical things. I got no musical number to take us out on. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh,
How are we going
Make
to
somebody sing.
How do you solve a problem like Dion?
Yeah, end the stream and let them all get fucked. No, sorry.
And we're out.
I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. The power girl